Okay, Shed 17. I said this review would be coming up. I'm going to review it. So, what do I think of it? Oh my god! Who the would do that? Who would make such a thing like that? I gotta calm down. Yes, it was terrifying. I was acting like a wasp. I don't know how to describe it as well. This is just... Who would make something like that? Okay. Basic plot. It tells us about how on earth the trains have faces in reality. And, yeah, and what goes wrong with them. It mainly starts with, like, a German scientist who had a child called Thomas. Yeah, Thomas. And the face of the boy was actually a face from Thomas in the Model series. And one day, I believe he has an accident, but with a train. The human Thomas enjoyed trains in the story. Oh, by the way, this may contain spoilers. In case you haven't seen it, just by a post. Never mind. Anywho. So the father upset, and then he creates something and doesn't appear for 2 whole years until he's invited. He reveals a blue train with a face, which is of course is Thomas. And at this point, a person, which is actually the Fat Controller, is inspired by this idea and tries to do his own attempts, but they didn't go so well. He did James, Gordon, Henry, Percy, Edward, Mavis, and Harold. And I'll say this briefly: James didn't really have a death in this, but the rest did. I'll tell you them if you like. Harold was my least one. He just was meant to rescue Gordon's crew after an accident. I'll tell that after that. And he was flying and someone went wrong. It was all over the place, then fell to the ground and boom, died. Mavis was the next one, which was... Wait, hang on. Yeah, Mavis was the fourth one I didn't like. Mainly because of the creepy faces she had after she died. It just looked too creepy. Percy was also creepy. Mainly because, one point when the models started in videos, they had name boards. And when this happened, his face just fell and blood came out. Oh, and it wasn't nice. Edward and Gordon were my ones I didn't really like. Edward, mainly because I like Edward, and I just didn't like what happened. He was just put in the station with Ringo Starr playing, going beep beep, hello, then blood comes out of his whistle, and boom, he dies. Well, it doesn't show him explode, but blood goes all over the kids. And Gordon, oh god, the worst one. They're doing some testing and keep doing something with him, but then he gets all hot, and then his face goes bad, and then his eyes go all funny, and then blood comes out, and boom. Yeah, I know. But it was also about where Thomas was created, which was Shed 17 as well. And one night Henry enters Shed 17, sees everything, and he makes a leg for it, and he tells Thomas not to go there. Oh yeah, Henry also died later on. But it was after an accident with the Flying Kipper, which was one of the season 1 episodes of Thomas. But it showed him dying, and it wasn't really that good. So Thomas goes to Shed 17, and this is the worst part. He sees some things of previous creations with him, and he goes to this bluey shine thing like a mirror. Then he realizes he's a train, and then boom, his top part of him cracks open and reveals a skeleton. His face falls, and the skeleton's just screaming, and oh my god, it's flipping off scary. So yeah, that's the plot. And as you may know, I've already said I feel spooked, and another thing which I can't remember. In my honest opinion, it's kind of scary, but there were some good things. Like, there was a bit of humor in it. Like, I remember one. It was like two people telling the story of Shed 17 with the trains with faces. And one of them calls the Fat Controller fat something, but I found it amusing. Another point, when Thomas was a human, he was filming on a platform, and the Fat Controller said, "Oi, what are you doing on my beeping platform?" But that's the main part I found hilarious. Another thing I'll give them credit for is, although when the part with Thomas, like with the skeleton as well, despite I find that very, very frightening and disturbing, I give them credit for the animation for that part. It was just somewhat, I don't know how to describe. There were a few animation parts as well. But yeah, but it was actually not bad. It was a mixture of animations and a bit of model series and blah blah. Yeah. This is unscripted, by the way. And the reason why I like puzzling, because I'm trying to be fresh, because when I tried to first see Shed 17, the Wi-Fi at my place was being a complete utter nuisance. So I was seeing it now, stop, start. And then I just forget about it, and just today I've seen the rest of it, and goodness gracious me, it's scary as but in reality it's perfect for Halloween. Unless you don't want to see it, that is. I'd say that I don't know how to describe it, that's why if I say something that I stop, that means I don't know what I'm saying here. I'm not thinking before I speak, even though I'm trying to think it, of course. So, Shed 17, I've said it was scary and all that. Although the voices who were doing the people did do good, I'd say that as well. It's just so disturbing and all that. I didn't like the deaths for the characters, despite I don't know what on earth happened to James. They might have mentioned it, I don't know. But mainly Gordon and Edwards I didn't like. Gordon because it just looked scary, and Edward because I really like Edward and I didn't like his death. Yeah. Thank goodness characters like Toby, Duck, Donald, Douglas and Oliver weren't in it, that's for sure. And Bertie and Terrence and blah blah. So, in my honest opinion, what do I give Shed 17? It definitely has to be a 2.5 out of 10. Although it's something that people might think it's good, in my opinion, it was just too scary. And just for the humour and the animation were just the two good things. Oh, another funny part is when they saw Thomas with a face and they were like interviewing. It's like, "What's your thoughts on the new Thomas the Tank Engine?" And then they go, "Bah!" and vomit. That's another fun part. So that's why I give it. Oh, whatever my rating was again, just slipped out my head. Then 2.5 maybe. I don't know. So that was my review of Shed 17. Do give me your honest opinion if you've seen it or not. But trust me, it scarred me a bit. It may have scarred me for life. But in other words, thank you for listening to my review of Thomas and Friends Shed 17, and thank you for listening to my review.